it's bananas.
Yeah, it's
What? Was that on camera?
You're hypnotizing.
That's really all I've got. It's like, what do you think of my shirt? Jake Hamilton, Fox Chicago. What do you think of my eyes?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah, well, I have an answer.
All right.
We don't
I'm
have
down
enough
for
time to give both of our answers.
This Monday is the 25th anniversary of the original Jurassic
Is that
Park.
Monday?
This Monday?
June 11th, 1993.
Cool.
Come on.
So thinking about that, I'll rewatch the movie on the way here. So many amazing sequences, and I love your characters so much. If you could insert your characters, Claire and Owen, into the original movie, what's the scene you'd love to see how they handle it?
Oh, wow. Good question.
I mean, all that I'm thinking, this is not an answer to your question, is all I want to be is like in the room when Dr. Ian Malcolm is like lying in repose with his like shirt open for some like someone.
So you just want to be in the background while he's like breathing heavily.
Sure.
What a great answer. Yeah.
Just Claire
Spritzing him a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you hot? Yeah.
How would she handle it?
She'd be like, button your shirt.
You would.
Well, how would Claire be?
Oh, you would
no,
want
no.
to.
How would Claire be in that scene? How would she be? Well, she wouldn't like Dr. Ian Malcolm because they have differing opinions.
Right.
I mean, maybe she would like him, but maybe she would like wrestle with it. It'd be like really
I
conflicted.
think she'd really like him.
Yeah.
I think she'd
Love
like him.
triangle.
Yeah, it'd be a love triangle. Oh, yes.
Jurassic World 3.
You just broke it wide open.
See what happens when you wear this shirt. What about you? What scene would you like to?
Man, it's a good question. I mean, I really loved the scene with the kids. I thought they were just great in that film, and I really love the relationships. So maybe seeing Owen spend some time with Sam Neill and the kids, that part was really cool when he's watching these young. I think Owen would have a lot to learn from from young kids.
I like that.
Yeah, and the guy who says "clever girl." Clever girl. The raptor.
It was great because he's about to shoot one raptor and the other raptor comes out.
Yeah, clever girl.
Genius.
So good.
Genius.
So good.
I love Michael Crichton's original novel. I read them as a kid. I thought they were just fantastic works. And I would love to see what he thinks of sort of the later films that we've gotten out of the series. If you could sit down with the late, great Michael Crichton in a movie theater, watch Fallen Kingdom, when it's over, lean over and go, what'd you think of this part? What would you like to ask him about?
Oh my gosh.
Well, the beautiful thing is right where we're sitting right now in Kualoa Ranch, about a year ago or so, John Michael, who's Michael Crichton's son, was here with John's late wife and with John's wife and it was awesome to see him here, just to see the legacy of his dad's work continuing on. It was really meaningful for us. Again, kind of goes with what you asked about Jeff. Like for us to be given the blessing of the people who really own this material to let us go and play with it and have fun with it. That was really cool. I think he'd be really proud.
Just sitting here. I mean, that log is over there that they hide behind whenever Galileans, I think, are running.
Oh yes.
That's a log's just right over there. I'm getting chills. I used to have I wore out my VHS copy. Used to have to dust it off. Oh. Kids used to have to rewind movies. That was a thing back in the day.
Right.
I remember that.
Or you'd get charged 50 cents.
Exactly. You have a great line in the movie where you ask, do you remember the first time you ever saw a dinosaur? And I know I've been talking a lot about the first time I was in a movie theater, and that was the first memorable movie-going experience I had. Taking yourself back to the first time you saw Jurassic Park, what stood out to you? What do you remember about the experience?
For me, it was the achievement of like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at real dinosaurs. And really feeling like it's when you get to a point when you're in a movie theater and you're actually believing what you're seeing, even though you know it's not true, like your body is having a physiological reaction to what you're seeing. That's magic. That's the magic trick of cinema. And that's what we all felt when we saw Jurassic Park in the theaters.
That's a great answer. I think that's just right. I mean, for me, I remember it's my first movie-going experience where I was a fan of the director. And I was 13. I was just old enough to start understanding what Hollywood was and that there were directors and whatnot. And I remember I just knew I loved Steven Spielberg, and I knew I loved films that he had directed and produced. And so I was a fan of his movies. I was going to go see his movies. And so when you combine that with the T-Rex roaring and all of the great suspense and everything in the reality of these dinosaurs walking around, that combination of things was I didn't know it, but kind of calling me into Hollywood, I think.
Little did you know. Guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man.
So to be here, sitting here with you is a great honor. So really, I really appreciate your time.
You are so sweet
Thanks.
to say that.
Jake Hamilton, Fox Chicago.
Jake Hamilton.
Yes, sir.
You look like a Jake Hamilton.
You look like a Jeff Goldblum.
Look at those piercing blue eyes, matching perfectly your shirt, and that hair. High thread count, I'd say.
You want to touch it?
The low hairline, let me see. Oh my gosh. That's a hell of a crispy. It's like the top of a creme brulee.
That Hawaii humidity. I can't risk anything.
I'd like to pierce that thing. I bet there's some creamy
Good luck.
Goo inside.
Good luck. 25. This Monday marks 25 years since the original.
You're the first to
Jurassic
tell me
Park.
that. I didn't know that.
This Monday is the 25th anniversary, June 11th, 1993, and I still think the Tyrannosaur paddock, the breakout in the rain, is one of the greatest all-time thrilling movie sequences ever. What do you remember most about shooting that?
Steven Spielberg is quite a genius. He was prepared. He had, he had a claymation, kind of a stop-motion version of it already put together. It was the only one I saw in the whole movie. But before we started to shoot that, we looked on the monitor and saw the whole thing acted out, kind of like what it became. And then we acted it out. I kind of tweaked my part and I said, hey, instead of just running away like the lawyer does in fear, abject fear, can't I do something kind of brave and heroic?
So he originally had you just running away? Really? Because then you break open the...
I break it open.
Get the kids.
And I say, let me break open that thing, and I'll say, I'm going to distract this thing while you save those kids.
That was your idea.
It was.
That's fantastic.
It was. I can't, Steven Spielberg is a genius, and and it was his idea finally to include this stupid idea of mine and then do something with it too. But I kind of had a feeling for that, yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, the actor who wanted you to who played the lawyer wanted you to die.
Marty Ferraro. Yeah, I played Don Gennaro, the lawyer. Or in the airport, I'd met him, and on our way to Hawaii, and he said, hey, nice to meet you. I like this script, but I have an idea, and let's pitch it to Spielberg. We can do it together. Instead of me getting eaten and you just kind of injured, it's the opposite way around. A
lot of people don't know that in the original novel, Ian Malcolm dies.
Really?
Really?
Oh boy, I forgot it. Yeah, I haven't read it in a while.
In the original novel,
Michael Crichton, beautiful writer,
author.
beautiful novel. Oh, I die.
Hypothetically, if they were to maybe in the next film kill off Ian Malcolm, how would you want to go out? What would you want your dinosaur death to be?
Well, I don't know that I'd like to die. I'd like to keep surviving for that number 4, 5, 8, 9, and 18. I know I could do something with Jurassic 20 that would be really cute.
You're saving the good stuff for 20.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not giving my cards are close to my vest. Now let's see. But if I died, I'd want to die like Shaw did. Like the guy in Jaws.
Yes.
Damn you, shark.
You're doing
get out of there.
Stretching out. Stretching out.
Get out of there, you shark. And then blood comes out of my mouth like Robert Shaw.
Yes.
That would be it. That's off the top of my head.
Not that I want that to happen, but that would be pretty
That'd be pretty good. But then it happens and I wake up.
It's a dream.
It was a dream. We get it both ways.
This is gold. I love this.
We did it.
Do we exist in a world in which we will see you, Sam Neill, and Laura Dern together on screen in another Jurassic Park?
Oh, I only wish, I hope. Who knows? I don't know. It's up to Colin Trevorrow and Emily Carmichael. Those are the two brilliant practitioners who are cooking this up now, and Steven Spielberg. I don't know.
Could you tell them that Jake wants it to happen?
Yes, I will. I'm going to tell them. And, but any way I can be of service, that's all I really want to do. I'm a humble participant and servant in this beautiful story.
I wish I could tell 5-year-old me that I got to sit here with you and do this because it's one of the greatest honors I've had in a long time.
It's a greater honor for me. That's a line from a movie. I won't tell you which one, but look it up.
Okay, I shall.
Okay.
I shall. Good to see you.
So nice to see you.
Much.
My pleasure entirely. Thank you.
One of the things I love most about the series is it has some of the most fun, this sounds horrible, fun and creative deaths, I think, in any series.
Oh, but come on, that's the allure.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your favorite death in the entire Jurassic series?
I was going to say Newman, but that's
Oh,
not his name.
Wayne Knight?
Yes, when he gets killed by the
Dilophosaurus?
Dilophosaurus.
Yeah.
Who was the kid? The Aussie. No, he wasn't Aussie. Was he Kiwi?
Who?
In the first one. Clever girl.
Oh, Clever Girl. And the Velociraptor?
Yes.
Oh, that's
That
also
death
good.
was
dope.
I
Yeah.
also like, this isn't a death, but it's kind of in that vein, Samuel Jackson's arm on Laura
The
Dern.
arm.
The
I did
little
not
meaty
know
bits
this,
at the
but
end.
they'd originally written a death scene for him to be eaten by raptors, but the hurricane struck the island and he was in LA and he couldn't get to.
Oh,
he couldn't
That
go.
was literally the best
But that's-
saying.
I'm
Yeah,
glad
just
they
I was
did
saying
it.
it works out
It
so
works
well.
so well.
The arm.
Yeah.
I think my favorite is the lawyer on the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
They
Ah,
just
Oh,
the-
that's
when the
classic.
walls fall and he's just sitting
Yeah.
there. Like, oh my god, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
This Monday is actually the 25th anniversary of the original film.
Yep.
June 11th, 1993. So many great scenes in this film, but if you could have been in one scene in the original Jurassic Park, what's the scene you have wanted to have been in?
Kitchen.
Ooh, the kitchen scene's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say when the T-Rex turns the car over,
Oh,
and the little
nice.
boy gets his legs
Oh,
stuck.
Stuck under the
Yeah.
seats, all that mud and the rain.
Yeah.
That was actually that was a killer impression. The kitchen scene's also awesome with
Yeah,
that.
that's a
Kitchen
good
scenes are
Bringing down the.
amazing.
I feel like that Chris Farley SNL skit. I'm just sitting here like, remember that one time? That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Yeah,
that
with Paul McCartney.
that was
yeah,
awesome.
yes. Remember
He's
that
like,
time you were in the
"That's
theater?
so cool."
Yeah, that was awesome. This is the sort of movie that will elicit tons of stuff with your face on it, whether it be toys or lunchboxes or T-shirts. Are you? Because I am vain enough so that I would go buy everything. Are you guys willing to go into a store and buy something with your face on it?
I did already. I went
What did you
into
buy?
a Lego store. I bought the Zia pack, but I was with my friend Linda, and I was like, okay, just play it cool, all right?
Yeah.
So we go to the cash register. I check out, and I'm just like sweating. And my friend Linda's like, she's buying herself. This is her. And I was like, damn it, Linda. And then,
doing
and then we
everything,
ran out.
Linda.
Yeah, and all the Lego employees, like, we ran out, and they all ran out and told me to come back to sign the boxes, and it was just all like,
Oh, that's
really,
cool.
it was awesome, but it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, I can't.
No?
I just don't like seeing my face. I hate my face.
You are in the wrong business for this,
I
man.
know.
It's
I
why
know.
he's such a good
Yeah,
friend.
but
That's true.
But my mom and my family, they always buy all of that stuff, so I end up seeing it
Right.
anyways. But I could never buy it for myself.
So you're getting it one way or the other.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
my
I
family.
had
yeah,
to.
yeah,
I-
you've got to.
No, I completely understand that.
Yeah, my family gets signed headshots for Christmas every year, whether they like it or not. One of the things I loved about this film is it sort of reminded me of the original film in that there's a lot of like practical animatronic
Oh, big time.
dinosaurs,
Yeah.
which
Wonderful
really
one.
made me feel like they were right there.
Yeah.
I'd imagine as an actor, so much easier when you can just physically touch them
lot.
and they're there.
150%. We had the blue animatronic,
Yeah.
which was
It looked
absolutely.
amazing.
It was, and if you saw it in person, you touch it, it feels like reptile scales. The eyes dilated,
Breathe.
Yeah.
The
had pulsing veins.
Oh
It's
my! Do you sort of
rolled.
forget for a second that?
No, it
Yeah.
made the
It's-
job.
yeah.
There were points I remember where we all looked at each other and like, I remember me and Chris were like, I'm actually kind of really sad.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually sad.
Yeah.
There are like 12 puppeteers
Yeah.
below who are working her like in every way. So it didn't feel like I was with an animatronic. I felt
Yeah.
like I was with an animal.
I'm a big fan of Michael Crichton's original novels, Jurassic Park and The Lost World. And what I always tell people that have never read them is they're pretty gnarly. They're kind of almost R-rated. And I was sort of curious, if you could have had an R rating to make this movie, do you think there are a few more things, or how would it have been different, or is there any part of you that would have wanted an R rating?
Well, I think it's a very different experience when you read a book and when you see a movie. When you see a movie, you see. And it's so different from imagining, because you can always imagine something different from other people. So when you get to the moment of making a film, you really want to create that same kind of mood that the novel has, but you cannot do it. So you need to play with your imagination. There are moments, for example, there is a moment that there is a dinosaur beating the arm of someone here, a character,
Yeah.
but you don't see any blood. It's pretty wild, but you don't see any blood. And that's the kind you play with it.
Yeah, sometimes the imagination makes it
Exactly.
more interesting
Exactly,
than if
yeah.
you were to just show it. This upcoming Monday is the 25th anniversary of Jurassic Park, of the original
Wow.
film. Watched it again on the way here on the plane, and just there's so many amazing sequences. As a director, if you could have directed one sequence from that original film, what's the one that you would wanted to maybe try your hand at?
I think I would, for sure, the Velociraptors in the kitchen.
Really? Why? Why that one?
Because I love, as I said, it's that kind of Hitchcockian suspense that Steven does so brilliantly, and I love that scene.
Well, talking about that scene, what I loved about this film is that there are a couple of moments that almost felt like tributes to the original film. I felt like there was one to the Velociraptor kitchen scene, and there was one that was the mirror. Objects are closer than they appear, I thought, in the T-Rex chase from the first film. What's the balance of sort of tipping your cap to that original film and not sort of making it too heavy-handed?
Yeah, I think you always must integrate the homage into the story of Fallen Kingdom. In that sense, you have that shot of the reflection in the mirror, but this time instead of a T-Rex, you have Owen. And it's like a way of telling the audience, in Fallen Kingdom, it's not about dinosaurs anymore. This is going to be about humans, you know? And that's kind of like interesting because somehow you play with the nostalgia and the emotional result of it, the impact that you have with the nostalgia, but you tell the story of Fallen Kingdom.
You know, to your point, talking about the difference between humans and dinosaurs, watching this movie, sometimes I found myself cheering for the dinosaurs, and because I couldn't help but feel like they didn't ask to be here. Like Ian Malcolm says in the first one, you know, we created them. You know, nature wiped them out. So who is the real villain from your perspective in this movie? Is it the dinosaurs or is it us?
It's always us from the very beginning. From the novels from Michael Crichton, they play like moral tales, where they tell you what is the wrong use of science, what is the wrong use of technology. So it's blaming always man, you know, and in that sense, it's very interesting to have Malcolm back because he's been like the reminder, like the voice of conscience, telling you what is the wrong thing to do and where are the red lines that we are crossing in this film.
Yeah, fantastic. From the bottom of my heart, the first Jurassic Park movie was the first memorable movie-going experience I had as a kid.
Oh,
so
really?
to be here talking with you, having this in the background, means more to me than you know. So thank you very much for your time. Also, the film's absolutely beautiful. Oh my God.
It's not bad, right?
This is amazing. Jesus. Jake Hamilton, Fox Chicago. Fantastic. I love living in a world where we get a Jurassic Park movie every few years. But since you're coming in to do the third film of the Jurassic World trilogy, is there an end game in sight? Do you have the end of the Jurassic story in your mind?
I have the end of this story that we're telling.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, I love that we only make a movie every 3 years. I think there's a restraint in that in this day and age. And we've been very deliberate and very careful in the story that we're telling and what we're building. I love that we had a new director on this film who was able to bring in a completely different visual sensibility, a different kind of tone. And we are changing what this franchise is, but we're trying to do it very, very thoughtfully and carefully because we know how much people love it.
Is there any way that we get a film that reunites Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum? Do we exist in a world where that's a possibility?
We exist in that world. I love that idea. I love all of those actors so much, and I've been able to spend time with Laura and spend time with Jeff because he was in this film. I haven't met Sam Neill yet, so I'm a little starstruck with him. But I love those characters. That's all I can say.
Have you spoken to them at all about possibly coming back?
We have all kinds of conversations.
If you talk to them, tell them Jake really wants them to come back, please, because that could be the game changer.
I love that we still have that opportunity. I love that remains as a possibility in our franchise.
Because they all seem fairly positive about the film.
No, it's exciting.
Yeah. Speaking of the original film, this upcoming Monday is the 25th anniversary of the original film. And I watched it again on the way here. I've seen it 10,000 times. So many great sequences. Hypothetically speaking, in a fun world, if you could have directed one sequence from that original film, what's one that you would have loved to have tried your hand at?
You know which one I actually love is a sequence from the second film, from Lost World, when that vehicle is hanging off the cliff with the glass. Like, I think that is a perfect action suspense sequence. I think it's amazing. And
when the glass when Julianne Moore hits that glass, that's such a great Spielberg moment. That's such a fantastic Spielberg moment. And finally, as we wrap up, the original Jurassic World touches on something that I think is really interesting, which is really a testament to audiences, which is that it's getting harder to impress people. I think there's a line in Jurassic World where people aren't impressed by dinosaurs anymore. As a filmmaker, is that something that you're finding yourself like a hurdle that gets taller and taller every time you try to jump over it?
Well, the intention of that was to start in a place where we had become desensitized, and then with the films we're making, slowly remind people, no, actually, these are creatures that deserve wonder and awe, and by the time we get to the very end, we've reached absolute full wonder and awe. We've come full circle from where that begins. So that's our intention, and we're 2/3 of the way there. And I hope that with every one of these movies, we're reminded even more and more, why we love dinosaurs in the first place.
Fantastic, man. Jurassic Park was my first memorable movie-going experience. So to be here means the world to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. It's really an honor.
It's pretty amazing here.
No joke.